Who do you think is like the most talented hooper you've ever seen? Like not from an athletic standpoint, just like
just like skill, like just Kyrie.
I was a huge Derrick Rose fan. I think it's like cool to see dudes get older and find different things.
Yeah.
For me, like D-Rose to go from what he was to like, okay, I can't do certain things anymore and adapt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you, like obviously your mid-range game, and it's always been that, but I've watched it.
Yeah.
And then now you pushed it out further because you understood, okay, now I gotta
you gotta do it, That's the beauty of it.
Like, I think that's the coolest thing, man.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know how to do it.
That's good.
But that's how you end up being out of there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, Big, what's up, man? Respect.
Appreciate you, brother.
Man, when I see y'all in person, bro, I feel like I can take y'all to the rack. I know better.
Hey, Freddie T, but he said he got up to like 235 though, Freddie T.
For real?
Yeah, about 235.
Yeah, he ain't slim.
He can bang, yeah.
Yeah, he ain't slim.
Yeah, with that whole that football conversation, he definitely got weight on him.
What I told him is I wanted to go out there and play him in horse. And if I get an H, I really win.
Listen,
if he get H, that means I win.
You know how mad I was when I seen that conversation? I was so mad when I seen that conversation.
We gonna get into it.
I'm like, man.
I told him when he said, hey, Chan, when he told me I had to put the names down at the gate.
They got croissants over here. Oh, brother. Nice to meet you, big dog.
Channing wouldn't know nothing about that. He wears Spizikes and
I wear mids.
Six rings.
Six rings and Spizikes.
Six rings and
You
mids.
don't know nothing about no call forward.
Hey,
Fucking shootouts. We don't see this.
bro, he wore some 6 rings the first time.
They lit my ass
because
up.
You wore him on the show?
Multiple
I got
times.
7 colors. I got the Olympic ones. I thought I was fresh.
Yeah, you would.
With pride too.
I thought I was fresh. And y'all, they lit my ass up, boy.
That's
it was
crazy.
bad.
Yeah.
Y'all wrong for letting him wear it.
You know, he's come a long way, man.
Yeah.
Like as the show has progressed, you gotta think about it, bro. At that time, when we first started, he was wearing 6 rings and he still had his baby teeth. You know what I'm saying? Now
They weren't my baby teeth. They were my grown people teeth that I chipped.
he got a $20,000 smile, DeMar, man.
Yeah, boy.
When we
I
shot
got fine on.
Hey, when we shot Tom Brady, he didn't know what he was gonna wear. He bought a suitcase of shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I done loaded
upgraded.
up now. I got a whole
You good
closet.
now. That's how it's supposed to go.
That's not how it's supposed to go.
What you mean? You got to start somewhere.
I got boats. I got more boats than all y'all. How about
No
that?
question. hey, no question. I bet what you don't have is somebody that comb your goatee out.
Listen, big homie, you got that, you got that brush, big homie?
Hold up, limitless, take a stomach, got a pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On this vision, I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach, got a pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On this vision, I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach, got a pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up.
DeMar, welcome to the show. 6-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA. Played for a decade and a half already. Career still going strong. You told me even before, we were talking about you playing the most minutes in the league, man. Welcome to the Pivot. Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder, Ryan Clark. This is the Pivot, a part of Fanatics. We're excited about it, man. Every year, around this time, we try to do something that's focused around mental health. I think that all started for us with sitting down with Michael Beasley and having an opportunity to hear his story. And so just the way that you have sewn into this sort of platform and given of yourself, I just want to commend you and tell you I appreciate you. And just start here. February 17th, 2018, 3:06 a.m., you send out a tweet in LA, All-Star Weekend, that the depression get the best of me. What prompted you to press send on that message?
Man, it was that time was so crazy for me because it's like at the height of my career, the attention, coming home, All-Star Weekend was here in LA, you know, that's something, you know, you look forward to. You know, I think for me, you really don't really realize what it feel like until you walk into it. You know, I think a couple days before, I was just happy to get back home, you know, to see the kids. You know, I was just happy to see the kids. I didn't care about nothing else. Then you land, you get into LA, you know, you see yourself all on the side of hotels, you know, everybody you went to school with, everybody you know, start hitting you up, asking for something, want to be at the game. And it's like, I start feeling overwhelmed with everything. You know, I think it was even a night before I even sent that tweet out, I was supposed to go out with the whole fam and everybody, and I think I fell asleep at like 6. I didn't wake up the rest of that night because it was just like I didn't want to deal with everybody, the pressure, the attention. You know, I just wanted to chill with the kids, and I think that next night I was just up thinking, and that's why I sent the tweet. And I took my ass to sleep, and I woke up to like, damn, what I just do? Because in that moment, you know, I couldn't hold it in no more. You know, you feel so alone at times to where it's like you have nobody to talk to. You know what I mean? We run away from a lot of our pain and a lot of stuff that may be going on in our mind, and you know, we combat it with either physical fitness or playing in the game. I know for me, that was always my outlet, and so when you don't have that outlet in that moment, you know, everything kind of just, you know, take over. You know, and you know, I wrote that tweet, and it's just really how I was feeling. When I woke up, I didn't expect it to be what it was gonna be, you know what I mean? But in that moment, it was a selfish moment of me kind of just, you know, crying out for help in a sense.
That ain't selfish. That's real. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of successful dudes don't do. And I saw you in, dinner with DeMar.
Yeah.
So I watched some of them. You really talk about therapists and stuff. And as you went through that path, does it come from something? Because I don't want to be insensitive, but I don't know if I've been depressed, but I've never felt the way, like reading some stuff you said and reading different things. I've never felt that way.
Right.
Does it come from something in the past? Is it created?
I think it was a buildup for me. You know, I think at the time I was 26, 27. You know, my whole, you know, teenage years, you know, I dealt with so much death at an early age. You know, my best friend was killed, you know, December 31st, 2017, when he was supposed to be with me. I had a lot of survivor's remorse with a lot of people I lost before I was even in college. You know, looking at my mama every single day, and, you know, I remember one year my mama went to 10 funerals in 1 year, you know, and people that we knew, people she grew up with, people in my neighborhood. So before I was 18, you know, I normalized death, and it didn't take to me to get out of that zone to realize life on the other end. And I think me having kids really showed me a different light of empathy and a softness that, you know, I never really had as a kid. And it kind of made me fragile emotionally to really feel myself from a different perspective than I ever did before, because growing up, it was always, you had to be tough. You had to be tough.
Tighten up.
As soon as you walk out this door, like, it was a rule from my mom. It's like, whatever you do when you walk out this door, make sure you walk back through this door. Knowing, like, the pressures of outside growing up in Compton was an issue. You know, I walked to school every day. You know what I mean? Like, I went to school with Crips, Bloods. I went to school with every single thing. And it wasn't a day that went by to where you felt like, you know, like, all right, today was a good day. It was always walking back in the house like, all right, cool. We gotta do the same shit tomorrow. You know what I mean? Whatever it may be. And that there gave me a drive that made me not look at what I really was living in. You know what I mean? And I think, fast forward to that tweet, made me feel all these emotions that I was running from for so long. You know what I mean? Like, it was so much that was going on that went on that I just used to sweep under the rug. And I think just at that moment, you know, reality kind of came to the forefront, because it was like, I'm a starter in the NBA All-Star game in LA. You know what I mean? Like, this is where I'm from. And it's like everybody from my childhood is like gravitating back towards me. You know what I mean? Because when I got in the league, I try to distance myself from a lot of distractions because, you know, it was too dark. You know what I mean? It was too dark of, you know, waking up and wanting to read or get phone calls about, you know, whoop-de-whoop got shot or this person in jail. This. It kind of fucks with you, especially coming from an environment to where, you know, I was always there for one another. Like that was the mindset. You know, whatever you going through, I'm going through with you. You know, for me to be successful and to take care of my family, I couldn't stay in that same mindset. So, you know, that moment of me being in LA for All-Star Weekend and having all that kind of thrown back on me kind of just like hit me, when in actuality, I just want to see my kids. I haven't seen my kids in 2-3 weeks because I've been on the road, you know what I mean? So, you know, it hit me that hard, so.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. When we can all prioritize family, you know, put them in the forefront, you know, we understand that, you know, we can't take these moments for granted. We can't take life for granted. We all come from a certain demographic, you know, our background. But when you hear about Compton, you know, in music, you see the gang violence, you see the gang, the Bloods, the Crips. We from the South, like we just started getting gangs, but we would see all of this, you know, through the media and through different lenses. But you mentioned things being swept under the rug. You know, for a while, society has swept the PTSD that comes with that sort of upbringing. Yeah. They swept that under the rug for a while. And you have a book coming out, Above the Noise, Chasing My Calm, September the 10th, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You in there you talk about your upbringing and growing up in Compton, but how it made you who you are now and how you wear that badge with honor. There was a tweet you wrote, and I typed it in here. I'm controlling these emotions, room full of people. I'm alone, feel like I'm drowning in the ocean. Is your childhood, your upbringing, trying to be above the noise, trying to show people, look, I want to show you that I have fought this depression, but I want to be able to share with you so maybe this can help you in the long run?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? Because I learned so much even from the tweet in 2017 of that, you know, it's bigger than basketball. You know what I mean? For me, basketball was an outlet in a way for us to be able to channel and have like a camaraderie that, you know, you always wish you had. When I sent that tweet, you know, you start to see like how many people really going through something. You know what I mean? No matter what walk of life that you go through, you know, and I think for me, people don't have much empathy anymore to really be there to try to help one another. You know what I mean? Because think about when we was young, nobody wanted, you know, express what was going on with them because they were scared they'd get made fun of, you know what I mean? Or they'd get looked at less than. That would bring so much resentment towards a person to where, you know, they either lose confidence, you know, it makes them more of an aggressive person, you know, so many triggers that come with that. You know, I think for me, the more we can share our story, you find so much enlightenment and confidence to push through whatever it is that you're going through. You know what I mean? For me, I always used to listen to this guy in our neighborhood. He never had nothing. He always had his baskets, everything, but he always had something that was so like insightful that he said. And I remember everybody used to laugh at him, throw stuff at him, make fun of him, push his cart over, but I always used to pay attention to the things he said. And it made me go back and look at how fucked up we are when you look at people that don't even see this man for what he's worth. You know what I mean? You just see that, you know, he looked homeless, he's walking around with a basket, but you don't really know what he went through or what he have to offer to be able to help us to not end up like him. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I always been a person that looked at life that way. So, you know, even me doing the book is me even trying to unravel, you know, those thoughts, those feelings, those opportunities to be able to help.
Right. I like when I go and speak to a lot of youth, I always lead with Genesis 50:20, quote from the Bible. God brought me to this position to save the life of many. Not that I can go out there and maybe it might be sometimes where I can go and physically help save someone, but through my platform and who I am as a person and how people view me, just being able to be selfless and give of myself, of my story, tell my struggles and what I go through. I've had anxiety hit me in 2017. I was like, whoa, like what the hell? I thought I was about to lose my life. It wasn't a midlife crisis. It was anxiety, and it was diagnosis that, and then also some depression in there. So they've heard me. I've spoke to it on several occasions, and I don't mind because it might save someone else just to allow them a moment to speak up, to go and get help. And I think in our society, it's necessary. Yeah. It's needed. It's a lot of shit going on in the world, and we don't know. So I think just having that courage to send that tweet, you save so many people. To write the book, you're going to save so many more people. And just to continue getting that message out there, for sure.
That's what it's all about. I even had a moment a couple years ago. I was warming up before a game, and I was walking off the court, and an older guy pulled me to the side. He was like, man, he got emotional and started crying. He was like, you saved my son's life. He was suicidal. And I talked to him for a second, but walking back to the locker room, getting ready for the game, it's like, it puts so much in perspective. Like, this is so much bigger than sports. You know what I mean? Like, we live in such an insensitive world now. You know what I mean? It's such a scary thing because now you got social media that you got to deal with. You know what I mean? That one thing I try to instill in my kids is just have the utmost confidence because you can see so much hurtful, negative stuff so easy now. You know what I mean? By just picking up a phone. Before, you just have to worry about having your jokes together at school if somebody was joking on you. Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now it's so much deeper. So for me, it's just always just trying to find ways to, make myself vulnerable because, it's people who view us as bigger than life.
Right.
But at the same time, just showing that we human goes so much further than we could ever imagine. That's one thing I try to express to a lot of guys in my profession. We all got a story to share and tell. You know what I mean? The more you do that, the more strength you will have and the more strength you will give to somebody else.
For sure.
When you grow up in Compton, where you did, obviously Friday is a cult classic.
Yeah.
Right? I had the VHS bootleg, and I was on the West Bank of New Orleans. Your nickname,
bootleg VHS?
Yeah.
God damn.
The dude went to the movie theaters, he filmed it, and
that was the thing,
then he put it on VHS, and I bought it. What type of,
he didn't come up like that.
But, so one of your nicknames is Debo.
Yeah.
I want to push back on that, right? Because Craig actually beat Debo up.
Yeah.
You got the nickname because you beat up a bully when you were hooping.
Yeah.
You ever push back and say, hey, man, like, how did I come to be known as Debo when I actually won the fight?
Yeah, when I got older, it did, but at that point, like, everybody was already calling me that. Friends, teachers, everybody. Like, it was already too late at that point, but I did, and people used to ask me, it was like, man, didn't Debo get beat up? I say he did, but it's like, it's a whole nother meaning to it that I have to break it down why I even got the name, but right. It became funnier and funnier as I got older because, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a cool thing because.
Bro, break it down. I want to hear the story.
No, the story came from, right? The story came from, I was in 6th grade, and it was always this older guy always coming on campus after school. I'll never forget, it was like every Friday. It was a 9th grader, used to come up to our school. He had like a family member, somebody come near, blah, blah, blah. And we used to see him walking through the back gate. And I swear, everybody on PE field used to scatter all the time. And it used to drive me crazy because it's like everybody scared of this dude, you know what I mean? So he was always picking on people. So one day we was playing basketball on basketball court. I knew it was Friday. Everybody looked back at a certain time, knowing he gonna walk through the campus. So we playing basketball, I seen him walking. So he walked on the court, he pushed somebody who had the ball, pushed him down, and I just got mad as shit. Like, man, why you, like, you know what I mean? Now I jump into it, like, get into it with him, we get in a fight, I beat the shit out of him. And everybody, like, just praised me, like, man, you beat the bully up. He beat up Debo. But you know what I mean? Like, that was the whole thing obviously from the movie or whatever, but I remember, I forgot my man's name. It was somebody, he was an 8th grader. He was like, man, you beat him up like you was Debo. Like, he was Debo. And I was like, damn, Debo? And he just stuck with the name with me. And it just carried on since the 6th grade. Teachers, friends, everybody call me that.
We got to give Austin Rivers a pass because this is 1 out of the 30. I think with that mindset,
Yeah.
you probably could have played football.
Hey,
I know we walked in, they said you got a 235 at some point?
Yeah.
You probably had the mindset to get out there in the gridiron with us.
Well, we talked about it already, though. Like,
Oh, yeah?
I for sure wasn't stopping him in the red zone.
See, yeah.
Like, I didn't see him jump.
But you know what's crazy? I'm gonna show y'all a video. It kind of with this past season, we had training camp in Tennessee, and we went to the Titans facility. So everybody close to me always knew I was like a quarterback. That was always my thing. Like in high school, I used to go out there with the high school team, play quarterback for a couple possessions, take my ass to basketball practice. They always used to try to give me a play, but my mom would never make me play. So we was on the football field at the Titans facility. So we playing football or whatever. So I'm telling everybody to run routes. And the video went viral of me throwing like 50, 60 yards standing still. But it was like, that would have been my thing. But I always tell people I would have been a type, like, if I seen fucking Ray Lewis or something running at me, I'm laying down. Like, I'll be out there, motherfucker. Like Peyton Manning.
Every quarterback does that, though.
Sure.
You can play quarterback and do that.
It's so crazy because it's like, that's what I was telling Ryan, like, damn, I hate that, Austin brought this topic up because football is no joke. Even when we was out there and I'm like, God damn, this football hard. Like, these motherfuckers play with this when it's 20 degrees outside. Like, you know what I mean? Like little stuff like that. But it's like, that football ain't no joke.
Didn't your coach you said your coach put you in pads, though? Y'all had a box out drill.
So my 9th grade year, my coach wanted us to work on a box out drill. So we go to the football locker room. He tell everybody put on pads, helmets, everything. We about to work on box out drill. So it was about 20 of us working on this box out drill. I'm talking about everybody trying to hit each other. By the time practice ended, we probably had about 8 players left. Because nobody knew how to hit, you know what I mean? Or somebody getting hit the wrong way, out. But it's just like I couldn't imagine somebody who's trained to hit, like, coming at me. No, I can't do it. Look, one of my close partners played football, and I always tell him, like, man, what y'all be saying to each other out there? Like, what y'all be doing? He's like, man, I be poking motherfuckers in the eye. Like, you know what I mean? It'd be like, nah, I couldn't do it, man. I can't take nobody talking shit to me in a basketball game. I couldn't imagine somebody running at me full speed could knock me out, then standing over me yelling. I couldn't do it.
That's the great part about it, though. Like, that's the difference. I think that's the difference between, like, the mentalities and the mindset, right? So for you, if a dude talking bad to you in a basketball game, it's like, I'm gonna go get buckets, I'm gonna dunk, I'm gonna hit threes or whatever it is. Like, for me, it's like, oh, I get to legitimately take this out on you physically.
Hit him.
Like, that's the mindset. Like, I used to tell people all the time, like, we'd be talking, cats would be talking. I didn't say a lot because I had to communicate a ton, and I would get tired as hell. I would always tell them, like, that's how folks get knocked out. Period, point blank. Like, that's what it was to me. And I think that's the beauty in the sports, though. Like, our mentalities match what God made us to do.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, and football is a place where, they would say it's controlled violence. It's the one place where I can, like, literally knock you out and not go to jail for it. And that's what people love. But, you're talking about somebody hitting somebody. This dude would hit you, then go on the sideline and pee down his leg.
I seen that. I heard that. I heard that story.
He was crazy.
Man, you can't leave the field. I gotta be ready to play ball, baby. I meant the thing that pee on himself thing. My rookie year, I ran to the bathroom after like the second series, whatever. We go, we stop them. They go on the punt. Ran to the bathroom. I hear a cheer. I think that we done made a touchdown or something. It was that Ronnie Brown fumbled. So now we go back on defense, but I'm in the locker room and I come out and I'm not, and the defense on the field and my coach cussing my ass out. And from that moment forward, I said, I'm never leaving the sideline again. So I just started peeing on myself.
Also, too, this is a man, because we've been on plenty of cross-country trips and we've driven state to state. When you get out of the car, he always sit in the back. And so when you get out of the car, the passenger seat, right? The passenger front seat, it's gonna have like 3 or 4 piss bottles in it. Because while we're driving, because he don't want to, because it happens like every 20 minutes.
You don't want to stop?
I don't want to stop, and it's called small bladder, large urethra. So you got.
Hey, bro.
He started buying gallon size, though. He got smart and stopped buying the little bottles and just started buying the big gallon of water. dumping the water out. Don't even drink the water, just so he can pee in the gallon thing.
Gotta let it happen.
I'm a steer. I'm a pivot, and we're gonna get this thing back in
crazy.
the right direction. We started with the 2018 tweet, and you already going through things. Later on that year, you get traded from Toronto.
Yeah.
Right. It's the home that you've known. Well, since you were able to get a passport, it's the home that you've known. The place that you become an all-star. One of your closest friends in the world, Kyle Lowry, is there, and they trade you off to San Antonio. You know, you go through some things then, and as well, you know, I know during that time, your pops, Big Frank, he's dealing with illness. How much did the trade from Toronto, the subsequent 3 years, what your father was going through, how did that play on your mental health?
Man, it fucked me up. I'm gonna be honest. Like, and it's crazy because I'm more than comfortable talking about it now, but for the longest, it fucked me up, man, because, you know, one, that was a place I wanted to be, thought I was gonna be, gave everything to. Like, my whole motivation and drive was to simply, you know, put Toronto on the map, you know what I mean? You know, I wanted to follow the whole motto of, you know, Kobe, my favorite player, I wanted to play on one team. You know what I mean? I had it all mapped out. So when I got traded, it was such a blow because at the time I was dealing with family stuff. Like you said, my dad was, you know, that's when my dad first started getting sick. And, you know, that was the first time, like, in my professional career where I just felt, like, out of it. I felt lost. I felt like I started to question every single thing. Like, it was a moment to where, like, you know, I didn't want to believe it because, the moment I found out, I'll never forget this day. I was at a movie premiere watching Equalizer 2. Denzel was sitting down the road. Like, it was like one of those cool moments, you know what I mean? Like, and I kept getting a call from my GM and, you know, I couldn't answer the phone. So I'm like, man, fuck it. It can't, like, let me check Twitter. You know, everybody always want to check Twitter, see what's going on. So I'm like, I don't see nothing on Twitter or whatever. So I just remember leaving the movie. I get the call, told me I got traded. You know, I mean, I was in the car getting something to eat, going to go get something to eat. I didn't tell nobody in the car what happened when I got the phone call. I just told dude, stop the car. I got out the car, started walking. I just walked down the street, sat in front of a fast food restaurant, and I just started crying. Like, I couldn't believe it, you know what I mean? And first person I called was Cal, you know what I mean? It was probably 3 o'clock in the morning for him in Philly. I sat on the phone, talked to him for a minute and just try to, you know, like, figure it out. So they told me, you know, they just wanted me to know first before it came out. So I'll never forget, that night I went to the beach. I walked on the beach for probably like 2 hours, ended up going to my mama's house, sleeping on my mama's couch because I didn't want to be around nobody. Like, I didn't tell my mama I didn't tell nobody what happened. Like, turned my phone off. I woke up the next morning, everywhere. Had thousands of text messages, phone calls. I just remember just getting in my car, like just driving the next day, just trying to figure it out. Like, what's next? You know what I mean? Like, how am I going to address this for myself and just for everything else? Because I think it hit hard too, because everybody knew how much I wanted to be there. You know what I mean? How much I gave to the city. So it was kind of like one of those emotional trades. So it took me a while, man. I was messed up for a while. I think I told this story before. I ended up going to Anguilla. Just leaving.
Yeah.
Just left.
Yeah.
Just went to Anguilla and just was like, I was trying to figure it out, man. I ain't gonna lie, like, I left. I'm gonna tell y'all, I ain't never told this story. This is the funny part of the story. I remember I left. I said, man, fuck it. I need to get away because this shit is driving me crazy. I got all my partners. We flew to Miami from Vegas. I stopped in Miami before we went to Anguilla on purpose, just so we could go to strip club.
Tootsies.
My man. Stop. Literally. We stopped, literally. We stopped, went in the strip club. It was dark when we went in there. When we came out, it was morning, the sun was up. We got right back on the plane with the Anguilla. Oh, I love it. Stayed in Anguilla, trying to get my mind right, take my mind off everything. We eating on the island, they catching the lobster and everything out the water, cooking it. I'm just trying to take my mind off it. It wouldn't shake. When we left Anguilla, I stopped back in Miami again to go to strip club. Then flew my ass home. But it was just like, I was trying to do anything to get my mind off it because I was like, I was so out of it, you know what I mean? Like, I was just so out of it, man. And, you know, I think that was a time for me, like, I started like searching in all the wrong places of trying to, you know, find myself, you know what I mean? And at the same time, not lose myself, you know what I mean? It was a real tricky time for me just trying to figure it out, man, because, you know, it was a lot of stuff waiting for me back home that, you know, I wasn't ready to deal with, you know what I mean? And I was fucked up, but at the same time, I didn't know how to fully express it the way I needed to or fully ask for the right help that I needed to get me through it mentally, you know what I mean? All I always knew was like, I gotta combat this with working out, you know what I mean? Like I go to the gym in the middle of the night, I go get up 500-600 shots, I go do this, I was driving myself so thin, you know what I mean? I'm getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning just to go work out, you know what I mean? Telling my trainer, let's do a pool workout, let's go run on the beach, let's go. I'm doing anything, not knowing I'm just overly exerting myself mentally and physically, again, that's just making it worse on myself. So, you know, it was a tough time for me for sure.
What's your trainer's name?
My weight trainer is Jason Estrada. My basketball trainer is Chris Farr.
Didn't he tell you, though, I saw a quote that he says you're built for it?
Yeah.
How do you use that for life?
Man, just the same way I used it growing up in Compton. You know what I mean? Like, I was built to be able to withstand and stand on my own whenever it was time to, you know, if I'm walking down the street and I see 10 people on the street I'm walking on, I ain't gonna walk across the street and walk around them, you know what I mean? I'll walk through with my head held high and utmost confidence and ready for whatever, you know, is to come, you know what I mean? Because with that, win, lose, or draw, respect gonna come from it, you know what I mean?
But any part of the game, bro, like you said Kobe, which that's a aberration, what he did. But Jordan was a wizard. Shaq played on 17 teams. He was at Phoenix, the big cactus. Yeah, he couldn't even run no more. But like Wade went to Chicago.
The cactus standing still.
Yeah, they had to pick him up and carry him on defense. Yeah. But like Wade went to the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? Like those great Hall of Fame, the best ever, they moved around. Like, did you not anticipate like at some time I might not be here?
Nah, like because it was like going to Toronto, it was like a fresh slate, you know what I mean? Other than, you know, Vince and Chris Bosh, it really wasn't a staple there that lasted or wanted to be there, you know? So I wanted to be the first, you know what I mean? And that was my mindset, like, I wanted to be the first here to do this. Like, I had a check off list. Like, I want to be the first to withstand all this stuff that the other guys didn't withstand, like, and I wanted to go through it. So my emotion and my mindset was so built on that, I didn't think nothing else. You know what I mean? So when it happened, it hit so hard because, you know, to me, it was like, you know, we was winning, you know what I mean? Like, I just couldn't beat Bron. We couldn't get past LeBron in Cleveland. And that year when I got traded, LeBron goes to LA. You know what I mean? So it was like, shit, like, the man I couldn't beat is gone. Like, at least give it one more chance, you know what I mean? And, you know, ultimately, they end up winning that next year or whatever. I was happy for all the guys and, you know, happy for the city. At the time, I was pissed off, but, you know, I was happy for it because you can't mention that place without mentioning me. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, that's what means the most to me, that, you know, I inspire so many people in that country to understand and play basketball. You know what I mean? That means the world to me.
Who was your favorite team growing up?
I was a Laker.
So you're a free agent.
Yeah.
What's the thought process in this free agency?
You know, you try to look at it, try to prioritize, you know, happiness, obviously the financial part of it, and, you know, winning. Mm-hmm. You know, those three things just got to come together in a sense of, like, it got to match, because throughout your career, you know, some guys want the financial part, some guys just want the happy part. You know, sometimes all three don't align without one taking a hit. So for me, those three things kind of, you know, is a priority for me that got to come close as being perfect as it can be to make sense for me to, you know, where I'm gonna play next.
Is being or playing for the Lakers, was that ever a dream or a fantasy as a kid?
No question. Yeah,
Would that be part of, I guess, the decision-making thought processes to be here, to be close to family?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a thought that you never want to rule out because, you know, I am from here,
Right.
you know what I mean? And, you know, that was always my dream to be able to play, you know, for the Lakers, you know? So for me, you can never just say no, you know, if the opportunity presents itself. It had 2 times in my career, you know, it just didn't work out. You know, if this 3rd time it presents itself, we see how it play out.
You know, it just hit me too. You was in Toronto, and you from Compton. Drake was in Toronto, and Kendrick Lamar is Compton. Damn, you're in the middle. What's your thought on the situation?
I mean, I think from a fan perspective of seeing 2 of the biggest rappers you could think of going head to head is definitely incredible from a fan perspective.
Right.
You know, we got so much music out of them in a 2-week span.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Good stuff too.
They not
Great.
like us. They
Yeah.
not like us.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
Why does your white side immediately jump to the forefront when you start dancing?
Man,
Or,
listen, I ain't
like,
got
you
damn bit of
You can't find no rhythm. What was that?
I wouldn't even a song on. How I can find a rhythm with no song on?
Oh, no, what though? When he figures out where he's going, like we should go to Summer League and see like his new teammates.
Summer League, boy, that's the best time to be in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go. So we go to Summer League, Fanatic Sports Books. I mean, now you know we're partners, right? So they giving away a VIP
We got
experience.
some courtside, don't we?
VIP, we got courtside. We get courtside photos, but you got to download the app.
Yes.
Got to opt in to enter. And if you do that, then we can sit and we're gonna look like DeMar, except for I'm 7 inches shorter.
Yeah, and a lot less jewelry though.
Yeah,
Fanatic
Sportsbook. Fanatic Sportsbook can't help me with that.
I be checking them with me over there. What got a jewelry closet?
But nah,
Another surprise from them, huh?
like hooping, and I just love the fact that Fred was talking about the Lakers. Where was a young DeMar DeRozan on January 26th, 2006? It's your favorite hooper versus the team that eventually drafted you, and he goes for 81.
I was sitting on the edge of my bed in Compton, California. I watched every game, every second of that game. Not no replay, not down the line. I was literally on the edge of my, because I never missed a Laker game growing up, never. So I remember sitting on the edge of my bed. I remember being mad, one, because they was losing. They was losing that whole game. They was getting smacked. And I just remember watching it and, you know, being mad. Then all of a sudden, you know, he started making a run. I didn't think he was gonna score 81 points. You know what I mean? And I think watching that after that, I sat on the bed kind of like in disbelief of feeling like I'll never forget, because I looked out my window feeling like I could see the Staples Center from my house, knowing damn well I couldn't see it from Compton. But it was like one of those moments of like, you know, I never thought I was gonna see somebody score 80 points, you know what I mean, 70 points or whatever it may be. So for him to do that and for me to be literally sitting on the edge of my bed watching that moment, it was incredible. You know what I mean? It was one of those moments. And I think at that time I started having a relationship with Kobe then. So to see that was definitely incredible.
I gotta ask, because we had Jamal Crawford on recently. And my dudes like you, Lou Williams, Jamal, give me the ball, get the hell out the way.
Yeah.
You got a lot of that in you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like at the point of playing the system, you know, oh, we're gonna pick and roll here, and then to the point of like, bro, give me this goddamn ball. Get out the way,
Yeah.
yo. Like what's that back and forth?
I think for me, to be honest with you, and a lot of my teammates could attest to this. So whenever they see this, if they writing a comment or whatever it may be, they'll know. To where it's a point in the game where I make it look, they know. They know, like they know. It's time for D to take us home. You know what I mean? Like they know wholeheartedly, like we got to this point, take us home. You know what I mean? That was always the thing. And I think that comes with just, you know, one, the respect thing and establishing the moments of a game. You know what I mean? Everybody on the team know when shit get real, it's like I ain't even gotta say nothing. It's a look. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So you got to earn it though. You got to earn it. You know what I mean? And I think I done played with guys where they want it. They want it in the sense of like, it's your turn. Take us home. That's our thing. Like so many guys on my team where they be like, all right, take us home now, D. You know what I mean? Yeah. They do this thing, but they act like they putting a seatbelt on. All right, time to buckle up. We riding you now. You know what I mean? So
that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about like the sports you play, there's a sense of individualism to it, because you have to get yours in order to attain the things you want, whether it's Hall of Fame, you know, money, next contracts. I sense that you have an incredible understanding of loyalty. Mm-hmm. You're a kid from Compton that went to USC when UCLA is the basketball school, right? You're drafted to Toronto, which isn't LA, which isn't a basketball city, much less in a basketball country. But you had a sense of loyalty that that's where you wanted to play your whole career. Where does that idea come from for you, where that's more important than the selfishness of getting the things I want?
That's crazy you say that. I think it comes from it really comes from my childhood. You know, I have a big family. Came up under majority of my cousins. I'm the youngest. And I had a lot of homeboys in, you know, my neighborhood that, you know, this one, the neighborhood was a neighborhood. Everybody was family. And I was always the guy, like Monday through Friday, I used to get $1 a day from my dad. So by Friday, you know, I got $5. So I never used to tell nobody. So Friday come, when the neighborhood ice cream truck come around, you know, I either get, you know, some chili cheese Fritos, some ice cream, you know, I'm gonna make that $5 stretch, but we always used to play marbles. A lot of kids these days probably don't even know about marbles, but I used to get a bag of marbles. So if it was 10 of us out there, I give everybody a marble so we could play marble. But I could be the 11th one. I wouldn't tell nobody else I don't have a marble. I'm gonna make sure everybody else got a marble so we all could play. And I always had that type of mentality with everything. Like if it's however many, I'm gonna make it work. You know what I mean? I'm the guy to this day. Anybody close to me know if we get in an Uber and somebody claustrophobic or somebody, you know, too big, whatever, I get in the third row seat. I'll be back there like this. Like, as long as everybody else comfortable, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? And that's just always been me since I was a kid. You know what I mean? And it translate over, you know, to my, you know, professional career. You know, and you know, I think that's where the respect come from with, you know, all the guys that I play with, because I always been that person. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what. And you know, it translate over to, you know, my professionalism, to my job, the way I think, the way I approach this game, everything.
Speaking of family and loyalty, we all have daughters. Like Channing has one, I have one, RC has 2, you have 4. And we've all seen the Diddy tape.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm pretty sure we can all agree to the fact that it was very cowardly. We wouldn't want our daughters in that situation. What's the message to your daughters who can understand? What's her name? DR?
DR.
DR?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's still screaming at people?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That was so funny.
She went viral. It was hilarious. Yeah. That was dope though. Yeah. So like, what would be your message to your daughters in those instances?
Man, and it's so crazy because like, I hate when if I get a take in a game and I gotta hear my daughter's mouth after a game. Why you yelling at the refs? Why you doing this? You look mad. Why you know what I mean? I have to check myself in that moment like, damn, I don't want them to even see me in that light, getting mad under competition, under, you know, with referees, you know what I mean? So that's why I always try to show them like a loving provider, father more than anything, you know, be there for them and give them the confidence they need. Whatever it may be, I try to be there, do it. I try to be one with whatever it is that they like, whatever it is they trying to do. And just show them like, you know, a staple of a man, you know, of being there. You know what I mean? Like, that's what my dad was for me, you know what I mean? He was there for every single moment, you know what I mean? And I try to be that. Like my kids know if I'm not with them, you better call me before school. I tell them the same thing every single day. Like we got a speech every morning. I tell all my daughters, you know what I mean? Pay attention, have fun, take care of yourself. Don't let nobody mess with you. You smart, you beautiful. Like I tell them the same thing every single day. So it's just be instilled in them to walk with that and carry that. Right. You know what I mean? That's one thing, you know, I try to give to my children, especially my daughters. You know what I mean? Even me having a son now, just trying to show him discipline and morals of a man.
Right, for sure.
What's the boy had that goddamn fire alarm going off the whole time?
Oh, I was gonna ask him too, how black is this? We rode up through all of these hills. We had to give 18 names at the gate. The smoke detector been going off.
You heard it?
That is so black.
I was laying down the other day. I said, damn, I gotta get my ass up there and change this battery. I've been saying this for the last 2 weeks.
That's how it get you.
Oh, we gonna let that beep hit, ain't it?
You be like, damn, this bitch gonna be wrong.
Yo, that's crazy you said that, bro. I was really laying down the other night trying to go to sleep. I'm like, God damn, I gotta get my ass up and change it. I was so lazy, I just went to another room so I wouldn't hear it.
I've been sitting here thinking to myself, do I bring it up? Like, have I had enough conversation here with him before the show that he gonna be cool if I ask him about this beefing?
But that's
probably got 47 fire alarms.
That's another
You
big,
can't change all these motherfuckers.
the big house problem. Bro, you gotta find out which one it is.
Yeah,
because they're all close in proximity. Then your ceilings are this tall.
I'm glad you said that, because I probably ain't even got no batteries here, too. Now that I think about it.
Hey, the thing is, though, too, though, the worst part about it is you gotta walk up to each one and tell everybody be silent.
Yeah.
Because you gotta figure
wait.
out.
You gotta
See if that light green or red.
No,
That's not it. At least you gotta go.
Don't let it be the tall one. You gotta get that
that's
ladder.
right, see?
Man.
No, I've been trying to figure that out the entire
I'm glad you brought that up. Appreciate it.
as things, you know, they have progressed for you and you've gotten to this point. You do look around here, you know, like Compton Boulevard is behind your head, painted on the wall. There's a picture of you and Nipsey on the floor over there. And there's so much pride that you do find in where you've come from and where you get opportunities to show people what it made you. When you think about people, you know, like the Nipseys and the Kobes who have been in your life, who are no longer here, the things that you've gone through in your life, losing friends, what has that taught you? And what do you carry from that?
Man, one, you know, those two guys was all about, you know, inspiring. You know what I mean? Like, that was their biggest thing. The biggest thing you could do is inspire somebody. You know what I mean? To be able to have a relationship with those guys shows the inspiration that it gave me, you know, especially Kobe. Like, Kobe was my imagination when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I'll never forget when I was 7, when he shot those air balls in Utah, I cried. I sat there and cried. Like, I felt some type of way, you know what I mean? And from that moment on, like, he was my motivation. When he grew a fro, I grew a fro, and he used to try to, like, push it back so it could be back. You know what I mean? Like, that was my inspiration. My fadeaway was inspiration from him. Like, everything Kobe was my imagination. And I don't think with that imagination, I become who I become as a basketball player, because that was like my foundation, you know what I mean? And even with Nip, you know, seeing his outlook, his point of view, his mindset on approaching not just like rap music, but trying to change his environment, you know what I mean? Of buying the block back, of putting into his neighborhood, never leaving his people, trying to show better for his people. That was the same thing that I wanted to do from the city that I was from and everything. So those guys was a big inspiration, and, you know, they stayed true to themselves. So for me, I try to do the same thing of just coming from what I come from, because you never know, it may be that next person from Compton that could do something bigger than me, you know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy, I was having the same conversation with my trainer, that trains me in Kendrick, of just, you know, I just sat there, was talking to him, telling him, like, how crazy is it that, you know, one of the greatest rappers to ever live is from Compton, California. You know what I mean? I'm going in my 16th year, you know, like made X amount of money, All-Stars, you know, whatever it may be, and I'm from Compton, California. Like, we just went down a list of people that's from Compton. Like, just from this place that's such a dangerous place that we became something great, you know what I mean? Like, so if we can inspire somebody from that same city, just that city alone, it's not even to imagine what we could inspire across the country and everything else that could come from it. So, you know, I always look at things like that, and that's why I always keep stuff that reminds me where I come from around, you know what I mean? So I never get lost in that sight. Just to your point, that's why I got the fire alarm going off.
Just to keep it real.
Just to keep it real, you know what I mean? Like,
Just off of that, man, talking about Nip and Kobe and all, and then just like the mental health, the depression stuff you talk about, bro, like, you're here. You got beautiful kids. I count people's pockets. You got plenty of money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just that. Like, that's the one thing people say when we talk about people, Ryan Mundy, and we've talked to a number of people about this, you know, the mental health stuff. And the one thing people from the outside always say is like, bro, you're rich. Like, you have a beautiful life, you have a beautiful home, you have beautiful kids, you have an amazing job, you have a great future. You done set 3 generations up financially. Like, what would you tell the people that when you go to not being in the right mental place, when they go to, but bro, you got $250 million now, let's be honest. Like,
what I tell people is, like, and I always use this quote. I remember when Jim Carrey said this. He said he wished everybody had money so they could realize money isn't everything, right? And for me, I used to think that too. Like, growing up, like, I used to think if somebody had $100,000, they was rich. They had it all. Then you get a little bit older, you realize, man, that really ain't nothing. You know what I mean? I get to this point now to where, you know, I can have all the money in the world, but for me, people don't know what it felt like to feel hopeless of me not being able to save my dad. You know what I mean? Those moments of me flying home after a game just to sit next to my dad in the bed, not knowing if he's gonna be here tomorrow. It wouldn't matter how much money I got. That ain't gonna give me the insurance or the belief that he's gonna be here tomorrow. You know what I mean? But it makes sure I got here just so I can have this moment with him. You know what I mean? But for me, it's just like, it showed me that it really don't save what the true problems really are. That lies within. You know, I don't care how much money you is in the reality of it. This some real shit. It's like, I know more rich people that's fucked up than broke people. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be honest with you. I know more people that's successful, rich, that we see all the time on TV that's empty, that's going through it. You know what I mean? I got some partners that ain't got shit, but I had the most time with them. Right. You know what I mean? And that's just the reality of it when it comes to when people say, oh, you got money. You know what I mean? It ain't what you think it is. It helps a lot, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it also brings a lot too, that if you're not ready for it, it'll send you down a rabbit hole to where you never would have thought was there.
I spend way too much time listening to things, reading things. You mentioned when you were talking about Nip and Kobe that the greatest thing that we can do is inspire. Nipsey actually said that while he was alive. He also said that the only difference between him and people who were going through what he went through was that he just didn't quit.
Yep.
And what I thought was impactful about what he said, though, was I'm not going to sit here and lie and display like I had the ultimate poise, which to me meant, nah, I was going through it.
Yeah.
How did you find a way through everything that you've gone through to just not quit?
Kids, mom, you know what I mean? Things that was there before all of this is the reason why I never wanted to quit, because I didn't want them to think if things got hard on them, they could quit either. You know what I mean? And it's crazy, like, I hold this dear to me now because, like, when I was in the 7th grade, my dad had a stroke. I remember we was driving from Compton to Hollywood to my brother's house to play, you know, dominoes. But at the time, I didn't realize it. But my dad drove from Compton to Hollywood. It was like almost like an hour drive in traffic. And the whole time he was driving, he kept swerving to the left, swerving to the left. And I'm like, man, I'm asking him, is he all right? He's like, man, I'm cool. When we got out the car, I stood on his left side because he couldn't walk straight. So we get to my brother's house. He playing dominoes. He couldn't pick up the dominoes with his left hand. End up playing, we chill, we make it all the way back to Compton that night. The next morning, my mom come get me from school, told me my dad had a stroke. And so the whole day that I was with him, he didn't make an excuse, he didn't nothing. He went about the day, went on. That next morning, I was in the hospital. And the first thing he told me when I got to the hospital, when I'm asking him, like, man, you all right, everything good? He said, yeah, I'm not gonna die until you make it. So that mentality I carry with to this day. It's like, I can't quit, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what it is that I go through, I can't quit. I see my dad literally have a stroke and drive an hour, play dominoes, drive an hour back until he realized what was going on. You know what I mean? So to me, like, my mentality will always be never quit. Like, no matter how tough it is, because in my mind, like, I always say this thing now, like, I take offense to NBA players who sit out games that don't play, right? And I always tell people close, if I could walk, I'm gonna play. Like, if nothing's broke, I'm gonna play. You know what I mean? Because one, we don't get many opportunities to play this game. It's gonna be over one day. And I don't want to look back and say, man, I could have played this game. I should have played this game. Yeah, it'd be painful. Yeah, I had nights where I questioned, like, man, how I'm gonna get through the game? But I pushed through it. And I'm more satisfied that I played through whatever it is that I was feeling physically. It means that much to me. You know what I mean? So back to your point of not quitting, it just comes from me just with my dad. You know what I mean? That moment just sits with me forever.
It's been dope chopping it up, bro, man. And I think with all that you've shared with us and the people that's watching, and maybe something you haven't shared, we always ask the guests, what's their biggest pivot? You know, that one moment you can look back to and say, without this moment happening, it wouldn't be no me.
Having my first daughter, I don't think without her, I it gave me a different calm in my life. You know, I think I was 23, being 4 years removed from Compton. You know, you still thinking, you know, it's about the neighborhood, it's about the homies, about all that. Having my daughter kind of just shift my focus from a whole different perspective on just life, empathy, love, softness. Like, you know, it opened up a different angle of humility. You know what I mean? So I think without my first daughter, you know, I don't think I become who I am.
Right.
You have sort of become a spokesperson for mental health, especially in the NBA, along with Kevin Love. You don't actually talk a lot. Like, I've learned today you talk.
Yeah.
But publicly, you're not one of those guys that we always hear from. You're not bragging about this, bragging about that. Not that that's the only reason people could speak, but people aren't always running up to you with the mic because you're going to give a soundbite. You just go about your work. Listening to you tell the story of your father having a stroke and just continuing to go about his day, that is the most culturally sort of expected thing I could think of our parents' generation.
For sure.
Right? I tell people all the time, depression wasn't a thing in my house. My mom prayed everything away and my daddy worked through everything.
Yeah.
We never had conversations about sadness.
Never.
We never had conversations about adversity or what we were going through because it was expected. Mm-hmm. And so it always felt to me like not opening up, not being vulnerable, not speaking about mental health was a cultural curse, right? How or what made you decide to break that curse by becoming an advocate for mental health?
One, starting with myself, knowing how I felt and how certain times when I was a kid, I wish I could get that hug or I could get that certain conversation, you know, to this day, you know what I mean? It's sometimes you have expectations when you down and out that you may need like a certain person to call or certain text or hear a certain type of word, you know what I mean? I think for me, knowing what those moments feel like gave me more of a drive to want to, you know, break that stigma in a sense, because we all need we all need something. You know, you got to pay attention. You know, sometimes, you know, one of my kids get too quiet, I sit there and watch it from a distance and try to understand what it is they may need, the help. You know what I mean? And approach it in the right way to get it out of them so they could feel like somebody there. Because it's so easy to get looked over or miss out on something. And I know for me, I had a lot of moments with that with a lot of people I was close to where it was like, damn, man, I wish I would have called. I wish I would have had that text. Or I wish I would have just checked on this person. You know, it's many, like the other day I called one of my partners, man. Like I called one of my partners, Rudy Gay. I just called him out the blue. First thing he said, man, why, what's up? I said, man, I'm just calling to check on you, motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? But to him, it's like, he think it's something
got to be going on.
Something got to be going on. But I really just was calling out the blue and, you know, we ended the conversation like, man, appreciate that, bro. I love you, man. I call you. But I could tell that made his day. When I'm really I didn't have shit to call him about. I was just calling to check on him, see what was going on, shoot the shit, say a joke, and, you know, it ended with him laughing and saying, man, I appreciate the call, bro. I'll hit you later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that could have helped this day, whatever it is that he going through. But I do that a lot randomly with all my close friends. You know what I mean? Because I know what it may mean. You know what I mean? Because I know at moments when I needed that, what it would have did for me. You know what I mean? So with me coming out and speaking and try to share so much is just trying to give light to show that it's okay to do that, to call in and even to receive a call if somebody call in and check on you at times and not be so damn defensive. Like, man, what is it? Like, right. What you mean what's wrong with me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, nigga, if there's something wrong with you, tell me. Nigga, we can talk about it. If it ain't, then well, fuck you. Then nigga, I call you. You know what I mean? Like,
that's emotion, bro. You Debo. You the 6th grader that whooped the hell out the 9th grader. Like, you're not supposed to have those emotions is how a lot of people think about it.
But it also could work in that same way of people looking at it like, man, this is like for me, like, that's how I look at my mom. I look at my mom like she the toughest individual I ever came by, but she the sweetest person in the world. You know what I mean? Like, she the toughest. I see my mama lose her mom, her dad, her brother. Like, I've seen her lose everything that was close to her. You know what I mean? And break her, but she was the toughest person in it. Like holding all her sisters together, keeping everybody together. And then, you know, she had moments where she broke down, but she the sweetest lady, but she the toughest motherfucker I know. I swear to God, if I call my mama right now, she'll probably say, nigga, what you want? Like, you know what I mean? But she the sweetest person, you know what I mean? But it's like that's, I love her to death, but it's like, you could be tough too, you know what I mean? Yeah. You could be tough too, man. Like, it's still soft. Like, to me, that's the most incredible person to me. The ones that could be the toughest person, yet the softest person at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, I tell you, I've had plenty of times where I had games where I score 50 and I get in a car at times and I start crying. Like, just from me not being seen. Like, you know, you get praised for all the good shit. You know what I mean? But it's like, I want you to see this other side of me that you're not seeing, but you're so blind by me doing all this incredible shit. Time I just sit in the car and I done cried. But that ain't gonna make me less than, you know what I mean? Because at the same moment, I could cry and if I had to protect whatever I had to protect, I bet you ain't nobody gonna run through my, you know what I mean? Like, and that's just my mentality, you know what I mean? I think we get so caught up in feeling like you can't be one in the other one. Like, you can't, you know what I mean? That's fine too. Sometimes that's more empowering, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Well, I think it's safe to say he is like us.
Yeah, he's like,
you know, that's our thing, man. We have a lot of opportunities to sit with people, and I think that's the beauty of our show, man. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. We talk about everybody. Yeah. We do an interview with athletes, whether we like them, dislike them, whether we think they're cool, we'd hang out with them, we'd have them on the show again. Like, you have those conversations, and we always say the biggest compliment you can ever give to anybody, and not to be arrogant about who we are, is to be like they're like us.
For sure.
You know,
no question.
That's a person that we relate to in a way. But man, thank you so much, bro.
Thank y'all, man.
What you've done for us, it's been big. You know, we're gonna enjoy the off season now, and I don't know what you got a hoop. Can we go to Vegas though?
Yes, I would love to go to Vegas.
Y'all go to Vegas,
He
please.
come to Miami, don't even hit me. I be in Texas. Call George. Manager. You know George.
You want to go? We go to Summer League. Summer League in Vegas. But nah, honestly, man, I just want to say I respect you so much. I think the ability to step outside of yourself and create a space that is going to help people who could never do anything for you is the most noble of experiences. And I mean, I was already a fan of your game, forever a fan of the person now. If there's ever anything I can do or we as the Pivot can do for you, man, we love to be a part of it.
Man, appreciate that, man. That was dope, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
too.
Yeah, appreciate
September
it.
the 10th. Above the noise.
I'm gonna change this goddamn battery.
Hey, bro. Much respect.
Hey, that was the first thing I realized when I dapped him off earlier. Like, man, it's big as hell.
Them niggas, them basketball niggas be huge. Man, good time.
Well, you know, the
bro.
thing
We
is,
appreciate it.
all their shoulders this wide, though.
They be
Right.
big.
Like, that's the thing. Even if they slim,
Yeah.
the shoulders this
What's
wide.
the red?
Hold up, limitless. Niggas to me, God pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision I can trust. Limitless. Niggas to me, God pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up.